So on we move to the shoulder press. So the shoulder press is a pretty simple movement, but we want to keep a couple things in mind when we're looking at it. So just like the push-up, we don't want you guys to shrug at your shoulder when you're coming up, right? We want to keep that shoulder nice and deep pressed and locked in that stable position, and your shoulder is just moving at the joint, but traps aren't coming up. A couple faults that we'll look at and a couple common things that we see among you guys. One thing we want to look at, if we're looking at from a lateral view, so I'm pressing, and actually I'm going to use this kettlebell for a press. I'm pressing from here to here, and one thing we want to do is we want to get full range of motion at that shoulder joint. So instead of ending up here, which a lot of people just press up to, we want to make sure you're pressing and you're using that full range of motion at that shoulder capsule and coming all the way back. So I like to say usually that your arm will line up with your ear. That's just a relative term or a relative measurement. But generally speaking, we just want that shoulder joint to get as full range of motion as we can. Now, another common problem that we see, or common thing, is we see you guys, again, keep in mind that one joint rule that we talked about before. To get that full press position, sometimes people will fully extend and then start to extend their back to get more, or act like they're getting more shoulder extension, but they're actually not. What they're doing is they're just extending their back a little bit more, expanding their spine, and it looks like they're pressing a little bit further. So I just want to be very wary of that, and what we always do as a cue is just say keep your rib cage down. So you'll see, you want to press here, good. If you rib cage down, awesome. Now my rib cage can come up on this one, coming up, boom. See my rib cage just popped open there? We just want to keep it nice and down and still braced. So that's the basis of the shoulder press. One other thing that we'll explain is the concept of the pocket. So the pocket is what I like to refer to as your triple threat stance. So in basketball, there's this triple threat stance right here where you can dribble, you can pass, or you can shoot from that one position. So we like to call this the pocket. So when you're gonna do a shoulder press, and by the way, this is with dumbbells or kettlebells, either one applies. You're still gonna hold it in this pocket. So right here, nice and tucked. Typically we don't shoulder press from laterally. We don't have you guys either, we have you guys either from like just out here or elbow just right here, a little bit closer to the rib cage. So nice and stable, and you'll see again, just like the push-up, this position is nice and comfortable, and my shoulder's not stressed out, kind of like the push-up we talked about when you're coming up here. We don't want you guys to come out here and press, right? So the pocket is here or here, and when you do presses or when you clean, and we'll get into that when you go through kettlebell cleans, you're cleaning up to that pocket position. So the triple threat of the pocket position is you can either press it, let it down, or you can maybe stabilize it here and go for like a lateral lunge or something like that. So nice and really stable shoulder position, and that's what we call the pocket. So there's shoulder press mechanics, and on to the next one we go.